Hey, y'all, welcome to the In the Blind podcast. Today we have a very special guest. For those of you that don't know, I'm in a country music band called Love and Theft, and today we have my bandmate, best friend, Mr. Stephen Liles with us, and we also have our dear friend, Mr. Porter Martin, who's killing the country scene right now. Got his first single on the radio.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for coming in tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. And
Nice place you got here.
Thank you. We've really been working hard on it, and
I know you have, yeah.
so excited to maybe get to interview you, Stephen, for the first time ever. So
Yeah, you've never interviewed me. It's always been us together, I guess.
yeah. And I guess Brett can ask us some questions too.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
for sure.
Yeah, but I guess let's just dive right in.
it's a good shirt, a good looking shirt you got on there.
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite new shirt,
Oh,
man.
Porter Martin.
I got this at Goodwill. They had like 100 of them there. Somebody turned in. I don't know what to do. They didn't end up in Africa, which is normally the case, but they ended up at Goodwill, so I bought 10 of them.
I love you too.
Well, I figured we could start with, I guess, maybe the beginning of our career, and like, I know how I feel in my perspective, like from when we met, but I'd love to hear your version of that day. I don't know, for anyone that doesn't know our story, like we were more or less put together by a couple producers at the very beginning of our career. One guy that had discovered Taylor Swift, another guy that had worked with Lindsay Lohan and done a bunch of rock projects, and we met in this little house in the backyard of a place over in Green Hills.
Pouring down rain.
Wow.
Like, and I like showed up, like we all like got approached by these guys in different ways.
Yeah, that was
like
weird.
they found me on MySpace, I think. They found Brian on something else. I think you found it in a classified ad, right?
I found these dudes on Craigslist. It said record deal, new Eagles country band. Send us your music. And I was like, I never been on Craigslist before. This dude, I was working at Sam's Club, and this dude's like, he's like, yeah, you gotta try out Craigslist. You can get shows and all kinds of gigs on there and stuff. I was like, oh, I never heard. I'm sitting there pushing carts and just doing my thing over by the Hooters. My favorite lunch spot.
Yeah.
I'm from Clearwater, Florida, so I have a
It's big presence down there.
Yeah. So I was at Sam's Club off Harding, and he's like, yeah, try Craigslist out. And so I'm like, I don't even know what this is. And then so I send a message and send him my songs, like, oh, come for a meeting or whatever. And then they're like, they narrowed it down to me and two other dudes. And then they're like, do you know this guy, Eric Gunderson? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I just met that dude at Belmont like a few weeks ago with Kane and Smith, who I moved to Nashville with.
Yeah.
And I was like living in on campus illegally because I told my parents, I was like, oh, I'll go the next semester. I got accepted to transfer there from USF. It's like, I'll go the next semester. And then I started meeting all these people like the FGL dudes and of course I already knew Kanan, and he introduced me to Eric because Eric came to one of my shows. He was a huge fan. And, and he came to one of my shows. And then we met after and started doing demos. And then so fast forward like a couple months later, I'm like, hey, this guy Eric Gunderson? I was like, yeah, he's really good. He sings songs about like floating shoes and stuff.
My music was pretty bad back then.
It wasn't bad.
I mean, it was where I was at in my career.
It was good enough
solo
to where
career
you
at that
made
point.
you
That's
were
true.
like,
that's
wow,
true.
this dude's good. And then
It led me to you, so that's
Yeah.
so sweet.
And so he came there. It probably must have been weirder for you because I was already kind of like in the band, and then you just came and showed up at this like studio in the back of some house that wasn't the guys that brought us there. He's like, oh yeah, our friends are letting us keep his house, right? And we're like in the back, and I'm like, okay. And it was pouring down rain. So they're like, our producers were a little like very forward, and they're like, will you play us a couple songs? And me and Brian and what was the other dude's name?
Chris Carpenter.
Chris Carpenter, who ended up quitting because he wanted to make a solo record with his uncle in Kentucky before we got our record deal. That's cool. Good job, Chris. And so they're like, hey, we play a couple songs. So you just picture like in a room like this, Eric over there, and Eric's like, yeah, sure. And then like five dudes are like just staring at him.
It was very awkward.
It was very
I'm
awkward.
sure it was,
And
especially you didn't know any of them.
Well, and I also
Yeah.
didn't know what I was walking into.
Yeah.
I just had this guy reach out to me, and like I thought I was in the band, and I was like showing up for like our first rehearsal kind of thing, and then I was like, oh, I'm auditioning to be in this band.
And everything that they had said up to that point was like, we already have a record deal lined up with Sun Records in New York or something like that, something like that. So Eric plays a couple songs, and this is what we do. It wasn't my idea. They're like, all right, okay. And Eric's over there. He's like, okay, let's go outside and have a talk. Well, it's pouring down rain, so there's like a little awning. So the four of us leave Eric in this little barn studio to go see if we want to ask him to be in the band. It's so weird.
So I'm just sitting in there by myself, like twiddling my thumbs, still not really knowing what's going on.
Yeah, he's just probably like, okay, was that good?
You guys are crammed under a little awning.
Yeah, and like
talking about Eric's future.
Yeah, he could probably hear everything we were saying, but like the rain was coming down, it's kind of loud. So they're like, yeah, you in? Yeah. Everyone was like, yeah, thumbs up, yeah. And we walk in and like, Eric, you want to be in the band? Eric's so nonchalant. He's like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know what band this is, but
we
I'll
didn't
be in the band.
We didn't have a name, didn't have anything.
No, we didn't. Yeah, but I mean, the guys that were producing us and started had a lot of rep. So we were like, well, it can't be that fake. Right. We were like, it can't be like.
Did the name come from the Bob Dylan song? Is that?
Did, yeah.
That's
but that was later on. We were like Gunderson, Liles, mixes of our names. We were Vinyl Sons.
And then the 84s was.
Yeah, don't date us, Eric.
The one that stuck because we were all born in 1984.
He's outing us, man.
Damn.
I told people today on stage I was born in the 90s, man. Yeah. So then that's when we were like, nah, these names. We had to have a name to play out.
Right.
So then we were like, well, we should probably like find a name that we actually really love. And then it was actually Brian's idea because we all started going through discographies of you can't copyright, from what I know, album names, book names, movie titles, or song titles. So he's like, man, what about this Bob Dylan? We all loved Bob Dylan, songwriting and stuff like that, classic rock, which we grew up on. And he said Love and Theft. I don't even know where we were. You might remember. I don't remember where we were.
I think we were in my house in East Nashville.
Probably one of our houses.
Yeah.
We lived next to each other for a while. That was wild.
It was
I didn't
dangerous.
know that.
Okay, so the producer, Jeff Copeland, had bought, like, I had been renting this house for years, and we were going to buy it together. Then I ended up not having the money to do it, so he ended up buying it.
Just like
it was going to be investment property.
But they didn't kiss.
You are still together.
Yes, exactly. And then he had bought another rental property up the street, and then Stephen and Brian lived there with like 6 or 7 people. I had my cousin, Emily,
I bet that was
a couple
wild.
friends. It was amazing because we were literally, the alley was across the street to his backyard.
That's awesome.
And we would literally, in the middle of the night, just be back and forth, going and showing up at all hours of the morning, the night, just trying to hang out, play music, drink, whatever
The alley
it was.
from my house to his house was probably like less than 100 yards, and some nights it just felt like, I'm like, man, this is a long hike.
We weren't doing a lot of drugs or anything.
No, we didn't do that stuff. No, heck no.
What's a kick-ass name?
Thank you.
I've always thought it was an awesome
Same.
name for the band.
And I think now, like, and at that point, there were 4 of us at first, and then right after we picked the name, Chris Carpenter decided he was going to make that record with his uncle, so then we were a trio. And now that we're a duo, after our first record deal at Lyric Street, the name seems to fit a little bit better.
Yeah. So who's love and who's theft?
Yeah, exactly.
It depends. I used to always be
bounces
theft
back and
just
forth?
based on my criminal record.
Yeah.
I love, man. Eric can't get into Canada anymore still.
That's
what I heard.
We tried earlier this year. He still was like, no, sorry, I can't get the...
Yeah, I got a DUI on a moped in East Nashville, like
Jesus
Right down the
Christ.
street from our house.
14 years ago.
On
We
a
were-
fucking moped.
We were living together.
It was after our producer Jeff Copeland's birthday party, and literally I was doing a favor for our friend Landon. He couldn't get his moped started, and I was like, I'll kickstart it, I'll roll it down the hill, get it going, and then I'll just drive it home. Roll through a stop sign because I didn't want to put my feet down, and this cop just comes flying up behind me, almost hits me, knocks me off the bike, and then claims that I fell off the bike.
Jesus.
And I was
They were
hammered.
racist.
They were
Norwegian.
racist because I'm Norwegian.
That's what it was.
And literally,
It's
the guy that I was
amazing.
doing the favor for, Landon, goes flying by me at 75 miles an hour
In a
in
car.
my car,
And his-
blows through the stop sign,
Sucker,
and I'm standing there with handcuffs on.
Kid
Wow. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
A
that's
DUI on a moped. You need to get you a horse.
I know.
You can't get a DUI on a horse. It has
I
to
was
be
telling Charlie
powered.
over there, he was telling me a moped story. I was like, yeah, I got a DUI on one. It's embarrassing.
Well, like Canada's so strict, man. Like I mean, you had to get like a letter to go do the Tim McGraw show. You had to get like a letter from like a senator or
Yeah,
something.
from a congressman to like.
Jesus Christ.
And then I went through all this rehab and did everything to be deemed rehabilitated in
They
the
realize
country.
their whole country is full of retards, right? I mean, Jesus.
Clearly they don't.
I mean, like, some of the biggest idiots I know are Canadian.
I agree.
I don't know, bro. That's
Hey,
wild.
well, but we're gonna love them really well when we buy them.
Absolutely, we are.
State.
Buy them
Absolutely.
51st state. It's gonna be amazing. We already got the Gulf of America.
When they become our new pet state.
So you really had to do that? You had to go through all,
Yeah.
did you play the show?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
got
we did.
in?
Well,
Yeah.
we lost money on the show, but we didn't want to.
Yeah, because it was one show, but it was part of the tour, so I had to pay like a $10,000 tax just to get in, or like a work visa for the year.
That's why they have so much money.
That's why we were
Taking
only
love and death's
getting
money.
$5,500 for the Tim McGraw show. We were so dumb. Nobody told us like, hey, by the way, you're only getting $5,500. You probably shouldn't be taking a bus with a full crew. We should have taken a van and made some real money.
Yeah.
We just know it's like sad. Like no one tells you that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and
And
as a
once
young-
you're in it, you're in it. It's too
We
late.
taken a
Yeah.
Sprinter van with a trailer and had the same crew.
I got a Sprinter if y'all need one.
Can we borrow it?
Yeah.
Porter bought our Sprinter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because after we got out of the bus,
400,000 miles on it when I bought it.
yeah,
Hey, they
We
got
drove
some-
the
got
hell
some
out of
miles
that.
Still-
Transmission.
Still going. It's still going strong.
it's a beast.
It is
But yeah,
a beast.
I think
Amazing.
most young artists, it's like, that's your, like, besides having a song on the radio or anything else, like, oh, you can tour in a bus now? Like, that's when you feel like you've made it. You roll up anywhere in a
Yeah.
tour bus and it just, you feel different.
Yeah,
So,
I feel that. Yeah.
On the Taylor Swift tour, though, we were smart enough to like take a van and a trailer. And we almost died a few times, but because we were driving it ourselves, it's like
Yeah.
either I never drive. I'm not a big driver.
Me neither. I'm a much better rider.
But like it was like you, me, and Andrew and Brian, right?
yeah, and Daniel
Yeah.
Boyles came out with us on
Yeah,
that first
sometimes.
run.
But
And
we made so much more money, and we got a less guarantee on that one.
And we were managed by Mark Miller of Sawyer Brown van. So he had a tour bus, and he also had this conversion van, and let us use the conversion van, and like would dangle the bus in front of us like a treat. Like, well, if you guys get another big gig, or and he let us take it on 2 Taylor Swift
Yeah.
runs.
We felt so.
So
cool.
we show up to
That's
like
awesome.
Thompson Bowling Arena or whatever in a bus, and it was
can't
like
believe
we
you
thought we
remember.
had made it.
Yeah.
The only altercation Steven and I have ever gotten into was that night. We got in a little fight, and like, how buses have pneumatic doors.
Yeah.
So I had said something to Steven, or like me and Brian had both like said something, and like it got pretty heated. Like, and we've never really fought at all, never touched each other, and like he said something and it pissed me off. So I kind of like poked him in the chest, and one of the pillows from one of the bunks had fallen out in the doorway. So he went to take a step back and tripped over it, hit his head on the floor, and was like, "You fucking pushed me, man! We don't do that. We're bros."
He did. So fast forward 6 months later.
I didn't know you were so violent. Man.
I didn't know I was. I was drinking. Hence my sobriety.
Yeah, that was different.
So what happened? What happened 6 months later?
We're in Chicago. Probably a year later.
Oh, yeah.
We're in Chicago, and we're just, just all hanging out, just, shooting the breeze. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was animosity, or I don't think it was, because we've never been like that.
Okay, let me set the stage here. We're in Chicago. We have a big show the next night at House of Blues with Jake Owen and Florida Georgia Line. Like, our manager's there. Like,
Big
we're
time show.
like, it's gonna
Yeah.
be really big thing. And like, so that night we're all gonna go out to this club. One of our friends worked for Disney and had a hookup at all these like cool bars. So we're all like dressed up. Like, we're gonna go out in Chicago. We're gonna go have pizza at this bar.
Super fun, right?
Super fun.
Giordano's by any chance?
We did eat there, but I
Dude,
think this
this
was
is
at
This
one
was
of the
like
other
after,
ones. It was after that,
after
yeah.
nights.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're sitting there in this booth, like, dressed to the nines, like about to go out and like have an amazing night. And it's Steven, out of nowhere, there's a pitcher full of water on the table, and he looks at me, picks up the pitcher, and just douses me with this entire thing of water.
He
Like,
Holy
looked hot.
shit.
He looked hot. Doesn't he look hot right now?
Yeah.
Hey, somebody give me a pitcher of water.
but like, and then I was like, dude, what the fuck? Why would you do that? We're about to go out. And he goes, bro, that's what best friends do.
Oh my God.
And he didn't even get mad.
And I literally just said, I was like, all right.
until later.
Our drummer looked at us like, you guys are insane.
Dude, that's awesome.
He quit. He quit not long.
You should have been like a wrestler. You have like the mind of a wrestler. You have like a meathead's mind. Like, it's pretty amazing actually, because that's the kind of shit we do. Like, chop each other in the throat, do all kinds of fucking weird pranks, and that's. But I mean, no, when you're on the road too, it probably that keeps it fucking fun and fresh.
Two dudes in their early 20s.
What else
like,
are we
feel
gonna
like you
do?
have the
Yeah.
world at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And you're on a bus bored 90% of the time. It's like
Yeah.
Eric
some
can
weird,
throw-
crazy shit's gonna happen.
Eric could throw back like 48 Miller Lights and with not even a problem in a day, like if he wanted to. Like if we like, cause I mean we're playing 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The first one's on. Like what else are we gonna do? Let's just nothing. There's nothing to do. We have 8 hours till we leave, and I mean maybe 48's a little much, but
Yeah.
That was about right. I
was
could
good.
drink a case and a half every night, fifth of Jack.
Fucking shit, dude.
Hence
I can't
my
do that.
I
I'm
can't
in re-
even imagine.
I'm
that,
in
'cause I
recovery
don't
as an
I don't
alcoholic.
even- I didn't. When I met him, he wasn't drinking.
Well, see, I haven't known. He's
Yeah.
been sober the whole time I've known
Yeah.
him. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
now he's just a nice guy.
No, I'm just a nice guy.
he
just
was
trying
nice
to make
then.
it.
Oh, the only
I
time
would-
you could ever get Eric to dance though is if he drank. He doesn't dance anymore. Sometimes though we get him. We're like,
I'm the
oh,
same. I'm the same way.
Let's
Yeah.
sneak him like one more shot. Maybe we'll get Eric to go do karaoke or dance. Those are the
Dude, if
only
we're
two
still
things.
like tight when we're in our 70s and 80s or some shit, we're just gonna have a fucking Rumpleman's night and we're gonna get you fucked
And
up
just
one
gotta
more
get
time.
after it one more
One
time.
more time.
One more
Hey,
time.
that might be the last one because, as you know, when I do anything, I do all of it. So
Yeah, I feel that. I have 25 years of the bar business,
yeah,
and
you can relate.
I still, I drink to get fucking blacked out.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't. If we're drinking, we're blacking out, and everybody with me is blacking out. So
Yeah, you said that. You used to say that. I was like, I don't want to drink just to drink. I want to drink to get drunk. And we did every night.
We did, and I'm happy that we're both alive. Especially when we lived next to each other. That was more wild than on the road
Yeah.
to me, in my perspective. We lived right next to each other because we had so many of our dear friends that like when they get off work, they would come over to our house, and they were off work and it was their night off, and Eric and I are just like up in the studio, and they know that we just got a record deal, so they're like, "Oh, you want to drink?" And Eric and I are like, "Yeah, sure." Like we're just making a demo or editing a vocal, like whatever. And so it was pretty wild for a while. I saw Eric cry once.
One time.
I've seen him cry a couple more times, but I don't remember all of them. But when his dog Duke got ran over in the front yard by a car, it's
Oh
a
my
nice
gosh.
pit bull. It's gray. It's a beautiful dog. And Eric came holding it, walking up to the house. And I was
No.
like, and I couldn't even think about the dog. I was like, oh my gosh, Eric's crying. It must be dead. I was like, no, wait, everybody, hey guys, film this. Eric's crying. That's a good dog though.
Yeah.
I'm a big pit bull
it's
guy, but
a bit dark, but
It's
yeah,
a little dark.
yeah.
I do think we should tell one more story of those days. It's the
which one?
the Jamie Morgan wrestling gun incident,
The
because
gun with
I'd
the
like
gun-
to hear your perspective.
Okay. So we had this dude that lived with us. Well, you already said his name. I wasn't gonna say his name. He was Eric's roommate.
He's the guy I moved to Nashville with. I went to high school with
Yeah,
him.
you guys
He-
were kind of in a
he's-
duo, did
yeah.
colleges, gigs and stuff together, and the guy was really sweet, but also got really weird when he started doing heavy drugs. So Eric just had enough one night. And Eric's like, no. They've been touring forever together and living together and all this stuff. My house is about 100 yards away, whatever. But we were all over there. We picked a house. My house had a fun basement, so we did raves in there. It was fun. No drugs involved. Super chill. Everybody, yeah, anyways. And, but we go to Eric's house because it was a little more above level, a lot more lighting. And so we go to Eric's house. Well, Eric had enough one night. And this dude got a little weird. And so I remember playing Call of Duty So we were playing Call of Duty in the living room, me and Clint and someone else. I can't remember the other person. You remember who it was? Was it
I think it was Daniel.
Andrew or Daniel?
Daniel or
It
Andrew.
was
one
my
of the two.
brother or his cousin. And I hear a gunfire go. And I run outside and Eric's holding the pistol. And Jamie goes, he just shot. Oh, sorry about the name. And he goes, he just shot that right in between my legs. And I was like, Eric, we're too drunk. You got to put the gun away. So
We're also in Davidson County in East Nashville.
Yeah, middle of the
downtown
city.
East Nashville.
Well,
We're
you're
like
fortunate that they're used to those over
True,
there.
that
So
is the only
everybody was like,
good
Say
thing.
whatever.
a 5-minute walk from 3 corners or whatever the heck it was.
5 points.
5 points. And so someone gets the gun from Eric, and then Jamie goes. Jamie goes, Eric, well then let's fight in the yard, because he was so mad. And so then they decide that they're gonna wrestle in the yard. So the gun's put away, we're all on the front porch, and it's a huge front porch. It's like this high. So we had like the best seat.
Front row seats.
Oh yeah. And who knows what other people and girls and other dudes were there? I don't know. Everyone kind of came out of the woodworks when they hear a gun go off, and so we were all watching. Well, this Davey says something to the effect of, "I took Taekwondo" or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah, it was like, no, I wrestled in high school.
Oh yeah, I wrestled in high school. And so Eric's like, "What?" And without Eric being able to say anything, he does this like spinning side swoop and knocks Eric on the ground, and Eric falls right next to this big tree. I'm glad he didn't hit your head. So then he goes to choke him out, and then Eric just got on top of him and choked him out until he tapped, and then we were all just like, "Okay, cool, that party's over. Let's move on and find something new." And he kind of like Jamie kind of walked back to the house, kind of like, "Oh."
Well, yeah, he had just gotten shot at, and then I
Lost
choked
the
him out
wrestling
to end the
match.
whole thing.
He
So.
did knock you down pretty good though.
Dude, he
at first.
he
I
got
mean,
behind me.
He like
put
swooped
me in
him.
like a half Nelson or something, and then jumped
Leg
and
swooped
like
him.
swung his legs behind me, wrapped me up, and like flipped me over.
Holy shit.
And I think he thought he won at that point, and he didn't realize like Eric's still good. Like the fight's not over.
Yeah,
Guess
I just
what?
jumped on top of him, put my
And
knee in
he's-
his chest, and then rolled over and got
and
on his
he's
back.
like,
And
not a
Eric's like
referee.
6'3", this dude's like 5'6".
Yeah.
But he had a little.
It wasn't a fair fight, but
Yeah.
I
mean,
love
but it
it.
was funny. Like, I mean, it's like, just imagine what you're just standing on the front porch, just like, what is going
Dude,
on?
all this violence from Eric, man.
I know.
I'm just like, damn.
Never seen it.
I'm a
But it-
little teddy bear over
it
here.
was fun violence though.
Fun violence.
No.
All violence is
You've
fun to
never
me.
been
I wasn't really like malicious about it. I just
Yeah.
like to do crazy stuff
You've
when
never
I
been
was
violent
drunk.
with me ever.
No.
I mean, you did crack my brother's sternum one time, but that he deserved it.
He deserved it, and he was begging for it. So.
he was begging you to fight him.
Well, we fought
We
in
were
the
in
front
Florida.
lounge of the bus, and
Yeah.
finally I put my knee on his chest, and I was like,
Started
"Dude,
pressing.
I'm gonna hurt you if you don't."
I think it was a
trying
rib.
to-
It wasn't a sternum. It was
No,
a rib.
but he's down underneath me trying to swing as hard as he can. So
Wow.
finally, I just dropped all my weight into my knee, and I
Yeah.
felt his sternum crack.
Yeah.
This
I
An-
mean,
It'll
it
pedal pop.
Was this Andrew?
Andrew, yeah.
Andrew.
And
It'll
like
pop.
for like years after that, he would always come up to me like, "Oh man."
He's healed now. He's healed.
Yeah, he's good.
That's good. It's
Not
good.
emotionally, but he's healed physically.
It was
It's
traumatic.
amazing.
So there's a couple road stories.
Well, those are all fun, and I'm in a very different place now, so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
grateful
you
for that.
are.
But I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you've got going on musically. I know you're gonna do a solo Christian project, and you're kind of in the
Yeah.
middle of that.
Yeah.
I got to mix one of the songs. So
Yeah, Eric
thank
makes
you
one
for
of my
letting me do
songs,
that.
my favorite song on the record, which is called "Always Been,"
Amazing.
and I made half the record at your studio. Our
Yeah.
friend Ricky, who's in the audience tonight.
Thank
Hey,
you, Ricky.
He actually helped me fund it, which is a huge blessing. Thank you, Ricky. And
It's beautiful.
Yes.
All
It
of
is.
them
I
are
wrote every
amazing.
song. I just
That's
felt like-
awesome.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
just felt like God was like, my mom always wanted me to do it. She died ALS a couple years ago, and she never. I mean, I'm sure she's. I don't know all the rules of what you can see and hear from heaven, but people are like, "Oh, I'm sure she's listening down." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, I don't know.
But she always wanted it,
But
and
she
you
wanted it,
knew
But
that.
I needed to be my timing.
I don't know if it's like actual listing, but I think she knows, and
Yeah,
that's really
that's
all
nice.
that matters.
I think she
Yeah.
probably knew he was gonna do it.
She's in my
Yeah.
dreams every night. I'm on a dream journey like Eric, and she's in my dreams every night, and she's finally talking because she
That's
lost
cool.
her voice from ALS. It's one of the first things she lost, and now she's finally talking to me in my dreams. Which
That's
is like
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah.
And that was part of the journey I've been going on with my dreams. I got a dream journal next to my bed. I put the more private stuff in my phone. Keep the stuff
So
that-
nobody gets a hold of
if
it.
someone's snooping, I keep that next to my bed. But most of that stuff's my mom's stuff. Anyway, so I made this record, and I'm just pitching it around, and I got offered to go on a fall tour with a good up-and-coming artist this fall. That's a really cool dude, and I might do it. But Eric and I still have shows. We're not going to stop doing what we're doing, but I want to still do this, too. I'm trying to do both, it just depends. Eric's got so much going on. So this is the only other. I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't do music. Eric has like 10 other things he can do, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do if I don't. So
Sam's Club.
I could be a
Chick-fil-A.
assistant to the manager.
Yeah.
My sister's actually really high up in Chick-fil-A. If you guys want to know, I get
Oh,
a
that's
bunch I get a bunch of gift cards.
Well,
for
that's
free
a
meals.
great
I'll bring you
hookup.
some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down in Mississippi. So that's pretty cool.
What part of Mississippi?
Oxford.
Okay. My in-laws are in Madison, and they went to Ole Miss, so.
Yeah.
nice.
So her husband went to Ole Miss. and now she runs like 11 of the Ole Miss
Chick-fil-A's.
in the area Chick-fil-A's. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the dude,
Great company. I
dude,
mean,
yeah, it's
yeah.
amazing. And the rewards program is like amazing.
Yeah.
You can get free stuff all the time. Eric and I on the road. That's our number one spot to stop, and we literally like, all right, who? So it's the same account card, but we have to like, all right, who's getting this one? Who got the last one? Who gets the points on this? Because sometimes we buy it for the band and everything. So it's like $75. We're like, that's a lot of points at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right. I was like, yeah, I got the last one. You get this one, whatever. And I get all pouty, you know. It's like 6 a.m. in the morning.
And actually,
awesome.
we both worked at Chick-fil-A as our first job.
Oh wow, dude! I operate hospitality venues, and I have all over the country. And every time I interview someone from Chick-fil-A, I hire them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the main thing is they're trained to be kind.
Yeah.
And to have a smile on their face.
Mm-hmm.
And in my business, that's the most important thing in the world. Like,
Yeah.
I need all my people to be nice.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, I need them to fake being nice.
Exactly.
And you get that, Chick-fil-A, I've never been treated bad at a Chick-fil-A. I've never had anybody be rude to me. It's always clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I always respected the fact that they're closed on Sundays. At least they do have some beliefs that they stand for, and I love that. And I actually love that you're doing a Christian album. My wife she's a singer-songwriter, and she writes some faith-based music, and I've been trying to encourage her to lean into it a little more because she's very beautiful and she's very talented. And I'm like, there's really no one in this space like you.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably make a lot of headway and reach a lot of people with this music, and if you really went that direction with it. She's, pop country, I would guess, would be her genre, and but heavily influenced by Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
That's a good one to be influenced by. She's doing good.
She's done well. She has.
I went to the Christian version of CRS this week, and I talked to a radio guy that said, with Jerry Cooper, and she does radio promotion. Well,
We worked with her at Sony, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now she works for radio, independently promoting Curb Word, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, and she's like, "Hey, you need to talk to this dude." And she's like, "We're creating." He said, He's a radio program director in Alabama. And he goes, "We're creating a new genre, Christian country." He said, "I already play so many Christian country songs." He goes, he's like, "You would be perfect for that." And it's like, I was sitting there thinking, okay, my stuff's a little pop, but it's still country songwriting and still Christian, right? And I
Whiskey
come
on my
from
breath.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example. And he's like, I'm already playing all these on my station. He's like, we want to create a new station, and I think he runs like 10 other markets. And he's like, we can do like a Christian country format because all these Christian or country artists are doing, country artists are doing Christian artists are doing country.
Right.
So it's like,
Well, even with all the huge collaborations with Jelly Roll and
Yeah,
Brandon
it's a huge
Lake,
thing.
and I mean, I think Hillary Scott from Lady Antebellum was really the first country artist I knew to really cross over and make that gospel record and Christian
he's
record.
like,
And
I was like, dude, I would listen to that station. I listen to Christian country
Yeah,
and
it's
sports
awesome.
talk radio. Those are the three
Yeah.
things I listen to. Well, would it be fun to have both? I mean, I wish we could have all three, but
Well, I love Ben Rector. I'm a huge Ben Rector fan because he's got a lot of, faith in his music.
Yeah.
And then the Forest,
yeah,
dude, I'm
yeah,
a
Forrest
huge
is great.
fan.
Forrest Frank.
I heard him today on the radio.
And I love that genre is getting more attention and it's becoming more popular.
People just love positivity, maybe.
That's it, man. And I've even noticed that with the social media. I'm Cloyd Rivers, and I put out a lot of content that's a little bit controversial, political wise, and I've noticed that people gravitate toward the positive stuff a lot more than the negative stuff. So I've tried to focus on being positive. It's really difficult with that shit though because there's so much negative there
Yeah.
to cover, but people do want happy, positive stuff, man. It's just easy. I think artists are so in touch with pain
Yeah.
that it's easier to write songs like that. I think it's hard to write happy songs.
No, I agree.
It is, and especially writing happy songs without them sounding cheesy.
Yeah, That's the hardest.
I'm having a great day. Okay, cool, bro. I'm literally trying to pay my rent today. Like, get out of here. I don't want to hear all your happiness. Oh, cool. You got this new happening for you. No, don't care.
People can pick up on that stuff.
Yeah.
Easy. I think that's why Jelly Roll's doing so well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, he's just being real.
He's
1000%.
grateful too, right? He feels
And his record, all 13, is it 13 songs or something like that? He did so many, he just lost count. But they're all like that. You can feel his heart and soul in every one of them. You know,
That's hard to do. That's come from a real place.
Well, I think it's easier to probably connect deeper with that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's such a heavier message. There's more
Yeah.
depth.
It's not all there is here.
Yeah,
you
man.
know? And that's what all those songs are about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think also I don't know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier to write sad songs, but I mean, I know each of us, we've both gone through quite a bit in the last 10 years. I mean, we both lost our moms and a bunch of other craps happened to us. And I think there's probably more negatives in our career than positives that have happened in the last 10 years. So naturally, I think you're drawn to write that darker stuff and pull from that kind of pain.
Yeah.
Yet when we do write, we still try to keep it
No,
as
we don't.
positive as possible. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to write for, stuff that we're going to put out in the future, because I think we're both getting to a place where I think we could use that as inspiration
Like
and
turn
write
it a little
things we could
corner.
write about and do it well. Whereas I think it would have been such an emotional thing, at least for me in the last year, to try to write songs about
Shit, yeah.
my mom,
I
the
can't
pain
even
that you feel
imagine,
from that
dude.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we have a ton of just raw emotion that we can pull from that I think will influence, and I think we'll probably write some of our greatest stuff because of that. But I just don't think either of us have really dove in and been willing to kind of pull from that pain and that
Yeah, it's tough.
That trauma,
It's tough,
so-
man. I've lost. I have an adopted dad, and I ended up being really close with my biological dad, more like a friend relationship, and I lost them both. And bro, I can barely talk about them.
Yeah.
I can't imagine sitting down and trying to write a song about them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd just be pouring tears the whole time. Like it's
Yeah.
very hard, you know. And those
Yeah, I mean,
people.
I've tried to write like more positive songs from
Yeah.
the positive memories, but it's whenever I get into that really deep, dark stuff, it's like I can't stop crying. I get super emotional, and it's like, all right, let's shelve this.
This is
put it away
exhausting.
for another day. And
Yeah.
you want to talk? You have any dead parents? No, you don't. I got both my
Not-
parents.
You don't get to be
Not
part
yet.
of the
You
group.
wanna brag?
Not yet.
Got both his parents around.
I lost my grandpa when I was 12.
All right, that's tough.
Yeah, and I'll never forget. It was like, first time I'd lost anybody in my family, and I was pretty young, so I didn't get it. Open casket, and I was
Wow.
just like, "It's my grandpa."
Yeah.
It freaking crushed me. As soon as I saw him, I just could not stop crying.
Yeah.
And then years later, like I thought, like, as I was progressing in my music career, I was like, man, it'd be so cool to have. We called him Poncho, and I was like, it'd be so cool to have Poncho here, see me on stage. He never experienced that because he died when I was 12. I started playing when I was 14, and I did the Ancestry.com because my uncles and my dad wouldn't stop arguing about like their nationality and
Right.
stuff. And I was just, one of them was like, we're Mexican. The other one was like, we're Indian, Native American. Like, they just argue all night drinking beer. And I was like, I'm going to get on Ancestry.com and do it. And went all the way back to 1805. I went out
Wow.
west Arizona and like met so many people, went to grave
That's
sites,
cool.
just had fun with it when we were visiting family.
Wow.
And I'll never forget 92-year-old great aunt that was sitting in her wheelchair, had her big family Bible, and she was just so sweet. And she's like, I'm really glad that you're playing music because your grandpa Pancho used to play. And my dad and uncles are over there. No, he didn't. And then they started arguing again. And she said, yeah, he played guitar. He never really played it in front of people, but every now and then he'd break it out at like one of the little river parties they had. Turns out he played.
That's
Only
awesome.
person in my family. I thought that I just
Yeah.
got turned on to country music and I just liked it, and rock, Nirvana and stuff back in the day. I just loved music and just wanted to jam. But yeah, it turns out my grandpa played.
That's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Poncho.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I wish he could see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
Again, I think he knows,
Right.
man. I
Yeah.
think he knows. Like I said, I don't know if it's seeing. It's not like seeing with eyes, in my mind.
but it'd be so cool to share it
Yeah.
with him. You
yeah.
know?
Oh, for sure.
But having lost mom and dad are still coming to my shows.
That's awesome.
Dad drove me around in Sprinter for a week.
For a
Few
radio
weeks.
tour?
Yeah, we went all the way to New York. Kind of snuck up front, changed the GPS coordinates to Niagara Falls, and didn't tell him. I told him we're
That's
taking
cool.
a shortcut.
Oh man.
So we
That's epic.
got there, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Where we at?" And I was like, "We're at Niagara Falls." And he was
That's
like,
awesome.
"What?" And yeah, it was so cool. And I did it again a couple days later. Finished up in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. It was only like an hour 20 to New York City.
Wow.
He was turning 69 at midnight that night, so we drove into Manhattan. Well, drove to Jersey City in the Sprinter, parked at an RV park, subwayed it in. I thought he was going to die before he turned 69 from a heart attack going through the New York subway
Oh,
system.
yeah. Hey, it'll do that to
I was
you.
like-
It'll do that
Don't
to
you
you.
wish you had someone filming that whole
I had
thing?
to- but it's my
This guy's
first-
a trip.
That's
dude.
awesome.
It was my
Yeah.
first time in the city too,
Yeah.
so like I'm trying to like figure out where to go, what
Like,
train
try
to
not
hop
to
on
get
next, and I'm like, Dad,
missed.
shut up,
Yeah.
man! I like, could you help
I gotta
me?
pay attention.
You
Yeah.
know, but man, so cool to be able to have moments with my pops like
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
that. Yeah,
It's really cool. So how has your first radio tour been?
God, dude, it's been fun because I feel like I'm making friends,
Yeah.
and meeting people that love country music. My stuff is, very 90s country.
Yeah, it is.
So
awesome.
you never, I mean, you don't know what to expect. It's my first time doing it. I know you guys have done it, and I mean, the driving's one thing. I've been doing it up until my dad a couple weeks ago. I put like 10,000 miles on that Sprinter in like a month,
Wow.
and I was like begging him at that point because I was just tired of looking at that white line. You
So
know?
you were driving
Yeah.
to your radio shows by yourself, pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
gosh, man. And then you had to play at 5 a.m. on the radio morning show.
I mean, it sometimes 2 a day. You
Yeah,
know, and
brutal.
it's
Yeah.
like sleeping in Planet Fitness parking lots and showering in there.
Grind.
Luxury is like a $50 RV park.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are nice, some of them are sketchy.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, badass is still sleeping in his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love you, James.
JTD.
Yeah, JTD's been sleeping in his truck for like 9 months, and he wrote the single that I have on the radio right now. So
With you.
kind of cool story. Hope to get him out of his truck.
Yeah.
You know.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I've been trucking away, still going at it, and you guys are having me out on shows.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much for that. You know?
Yeah, we were all just in Hawaii together last week.
Yeah,
So-
horrible
Oh,
life.
so
you know?
disgusting. It's so
Yeah.
gross. I can't,
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
never going
terrible.
back.
It's so terrible out there.
Yeah, and thank you to Kevin, Nashville Nights,
National
for
Nights, Kevin
having
Pipel.
these guys and having me. Yeah, what a cool man. What a beautiful place to have a show.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we have a buddy. His name's Kevin Pipel. He's like one of the head software designers for Apple, and he's just passionate about music. And he booked us on a show like 13 years ago, and he's kind of created this thing. It's called Nashville Nights, and it's all these cool, intimate, small shows in beautiful places.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, so we do them in just resorts all around the country.
He does different artists.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was
like
thinking,
he's
yeah.
got a like we've
Like a
introduced
little
him to a
stock
bunch. Yeah,
of
so
artists
he's
that he
got probably
uses. Yeah.
15 that he kind of rotates through
That's
these
awesome.
different shows, and
Yeah.
it's really incredible. Like we're doing one at the end of June in Santa Cruz, California, at a place called the Chaminade. That's just this
Coming in
amazing
soon.
resort up on this hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean,
Oh,
right above like
super
Monterey, where
cool.
Pebble and all that is,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
it's incredible. So he takes us there, Hawaii. We've gone to all kinds of resorts with him.
That's
so
awesome.
and
He's
it
doing
makes it fun for us as an artist to get to do something that's completely different than we're used
For
to.
sure. Yeah.
And then also like get to go to Hawaii for 5 days, play one show. And,
Yeah.
And I
Eric
got
got
to take my
celebrate
wife.
his
So
15-year anniversary with
Yeah.
his wife.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Made it like
Yeah.
a double thing, like a show and
Very
anniversary.
smart.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But I
it
think
is
we're
smart,
at
very
a
smart.
stage
Very
of our
smart,
career
yeah.
like where we've done.
Great success.
yeah, it was a good idea.
Very very nice.
Yeah, we're at the point in our career where we've had a lot of good success. We've had a lot of peaks and valleys, but now we're finally getting to do some cool stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
we want shows to come in, and we're still trying to put music out. And hopefully, beginning of the fall, end of the summer, we're going to release a couple songs and
Nice.
try to keep riding
Keep your
that
eye out
wave
for
and
some
y'all
new
keep
should.
Love
going.
and Theft music, guys.
I know.
Thank you,
I will
thank you.
say this: like every single programmer every DJ, which probably like 20, 25 of them that I've been hanging out with for the past couple months. I've told them they're my buddies, and they're like, we want a song from them.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They're like, if they would give us a song, like give us a new single, like we will play it.
That's
awesome. We will add it right now. I was like,
Eric.
All right, let's do it. Nice to
your
hear.
homework.
Every one of them have told me.
Yeah, dude, I know
No
there's a lot of love out there for you guys. I mean, and your music, and just you guys as people. I've never heard a bad thing about either one of you. And I think that takes you a long way. People want good guys to win. You guys are definitely a couple good guys.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Good enough to take me in their camp.
Maybe I would think different if I was friends with y'all back when you were living across the street from each other.
Yeah. Well, back then we were in here pretty much every other night too. So
you would have liked it.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah,
I'd
have been right there with you.
Oh, yeah.
1,000%. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So how did you actually meet Stephen? I know that we've all been friends for a while now. We played a bunch of shows together, but I just remember like all of a sudden coming back from Key West. And
this guy's hanging out.
You're hanging out with us. So.
He's like that though. He's like he doesn't meet a stranger. Like,
that is 100% true.
He met me at the Casa Marina. We're just everybody's hanging out at the pool in Key West and Songwriters Festival. Yeah. I moved to town to be a writer and got hooked up with Leslie Roberts, and she booked me on the show. I go down, and my parents wanted to come, so they got the room at the Casa Marina. I couldn't afford that back then, and
same. I don't think we paid for it either.
You were probably just hanging out.
RCA paid for it back then.
Yeah, RCA Sony paid for it for sure. Keith Gale, thanks again for getting our back wherever you are.
But yeah, we went down there every year for the Songwriters Festival, and I think the year you met him maybe was like the one year I didn't go.
Well, he was in the pool hanging out and had his Bluetooth speaker going, and it was playing Wheeler Walker Jr., and I'd never heard it before, and I was like, what is that? And I saw him over there, and I could tell it was his speaker, and I was like, what are you listening to?
And Ricky was laying out. He's in the audience, guys. He's over there. You can't see him. With cucumbers on his eyes. I saw the picture, and he's like,
But I thought this song was so cool, and I loved the production so much that I had to just go up to this random guy and ask him what that was, and he was blown away that I'd never heard Wheeler Walker.
You never heard Wheeler Walker?
So he was like, I'm about to change your life, dude. Yeah. So he played a few more and we just got to talking and that was it,
That's
so
awesome.
we're playing over here and I went to see a show and
nice.
Didn't a couple of the dudes from his recording band play on some of the
I
records?
love that record. Like after I got back to Nashville after that Writers Festival, I dove into that record and I just fell in love with it because I was like, oh my God, these lyrics are vulgar as hell. It's funny as shit. But the whole time I was like, man, I want to do a record that sounds like that. That's like old school. It's like old school country. Come to find out, it was Dave Cobb and Chris Powell on drums, brother Leroy Powell, Brian Allen on bass, and I just loved it. So I was like, I gotta find out who has these guys' contacts, and I got Leroy's contact first. Called him. He was like, yeah, I'm in. Then I called Chris. I didn't know it was his brother. I didn't put two and two together. I just called him and he was like, so who you got on the session so far? And I was like, some guy named Leroy Powell. And he was like, oh, that's my baby bro.
That's awesome.
He's like, I'm in, dude. That's gonna be fun. He was like, you should. Who were you thinking for bass? And I was like, Brian Allen. And he was like,
he's going down the list.
Let's go, man. That's my homeboy too. And I was just fucking going down the list. And awesome. I was just talking to Chris earlier today, man. Those guys, like, that's what I love about Nashville. Like, it's a small town.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too long. Like, all these people play on the same records. Yeah. Chris actually played on Steve's project that he's working on now. So, that's kind of how it all got started for me was, meeting Steve. And then these players are playing on a session for me in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Key West Songwriters Festival.
But now that you say that, story we talked about it the other day, I was there that year because I do remember it. Okay. But I remember it because Stephen decided before this whole trip started, like we normally had an entire massive crew that would go down to Key West with us. So, Ricky, Trent, like a bunch of our friends were all in a group text together. So Stephen one night had like the Key West Songwriters Festival like flyer pulled up on his phone. And like we've always all loved South Park, and we've always talked in that little Asian shitty walk voice. So Stephen sends us this voice memo of him reading the entire thing, and it's
the press release.
It was a press release. It was probably the funniest thing that I've ever heard from him. I think I actually have it.
Yeah, somebody's got to have it.
Hold it up to your microphone so you can hear it.
Yeah, you play it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
And everybody else can hear it. This is gold.
Is it playing?
Is it turned up?
It's like a 15-second.
It's time to center up, Key West. The songwriters are back in town, more than 200 of them at once. They're ready to make some serious noise. Back for his 22nd year, the 2017 Key West Songwriters Festival begins Wednesday, May 10. Bring a sea of cowboy hats and country music hit makers to the southernmost point. A week of concerts, Corona, and late night arguing with over country stars. The second coming of Johnny Cash. Beginning with kickoff party, Ocean Key Resort, Sunset Pier, starring Dylan Altman Blues Band and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Dave Cropper. Michael Ray playing. We have Stevie Munch, not here this year. He's busy. We have Tyler Reed playing all his hits. And we have Tritt Tomlinson playing all his hits and more. Saturday nights, the main stage Duval, Maren Morris. She's going to be there having a nice time. So many parties. It's all back. Like 1995, Mr. Reef and the fortuitous idea to bring a new Songwriters Festival down to Key West. It's going to be really fun. We hope to see you. Thank you, BMI, for having a nice event. And guess what? Old Dominion's here. Saturday night party with XAXO. And we're all so excited. The American Dream. Roaring Arena's coming too. It's going to be really fun. Cam, Root Crumbs. It's going to be really nice. We'll see you there. Puerto Rico has nothing on this party.
It's gold, isn't it?
Puerto Rico's got nothing.
That's amazing. That needs to be like the first song on an album, like the first track on an album. That's so good. Holy shit.
I always forget Roaring Arena.
Roaring Arena.
Root Crumbs.
Root Crumbs.
I think my favorite line is still, and Trey Thomas is coming praying all his hits and more.
That was classic, dude.
Oh man.
I'm glad you shared that because, man, it's like.
If you want, send it to him. You can get your ab workout for the day.
Absolutely.
Every
dude.
day.
That was,
We sent it to our buddy Kevin the other night in Hawaii, and he texted us back, "What the fuck did I just listen to?"
dude, that's amazing, dude.
Eric, it's
And
really,
it's spot
really
on.
cool.
It's
It
so
is.
good.
Really
They should
cool
hire
what you're
you.
doing
South
here.
Park should hire you. They should literally hire
Oh,
He
he's
does
the
it
best
really
at
well.
it. I keep telling him he needs to do his own animated series.
Series.
Well,
Yeah.
I do have a. Did you know that? I don't know if I'm gonna tell everybody this, but you can do your own voice for Waze.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you
yeah.
could do your own. I knew
Oh,
you
I
could
didn't.
change them.
It-
Oh, my ways is his voice talking that way.
Oh my god!
Stop! Turn left! Quick!
Yeah, okay, turn right. Be careful. Be safe. And then what does it say when I get to the place?
Hold up.
No,
We're not gonna be able to do arrive, but we can get a little taste of it.
No, something when you get to the place you're supposed to be. I say something. Ricky, what was it? Ricky has it on, and I do a Donald Duck. That's one of my hidden talents.
Let's see if we can get one.
Can you find it real quick?
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
gonna do it. It's not gonna do it unless
Oh,
I'm doing
yippee
it.
ki yay! You made it safely.
Yeah, that's it.
You arrived. Congratulations.
And my kids like make me turn it on in the car. Like, Dad, turn on Steven's voice on
I
Waze.
can do it better
That's
now. That was just
amazing.
like I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I was like, oh, I'll just give it a shot. And I have a Donald Duck one too. It's like,
Hello, thank you so much for having us. This is On the Beyond podcast with Eric, Paula, and Brett and Stephen Barker Liles. Thanks for watching.
but I do it like directions.
I'd pass out.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I do it in directions. So it's like I feel like you're about to get off an exit. It's like,
And what was $20
It's one of my hidden talents, guys. It's kind of a thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, now you see why we've been in a band for 20 years together.
might get a
'cause
new
we
kind of
laugh
deal
all the
after
time.
this.
I'm pissed off
We
because
laugh all the time.
him and Ricky are like doing these little inside jokes doing
We
that.
didn't
Like
tell. He just found it. Like this
2
week.
years later, I've been on a 12,000-mile radio tour, and I could have been laughing my ass off
The whole
The whole time, yeah.
And just like
I
2
know.
days
That's
ago, he
amazing.
sent it to me.
That's Ricky's fault.
And
He's
as
supposed to
soon,
share
as
it.
soon as I plug it in and turn it on, I'm so excited. And I
Double
hit
up.
go, and it's like, turn right.
That's awesome.
Oh, and it's really fun because there's an alert for cops. It's like, what is the cop alert?
Police ahead, or, well,
Be careful. Be safe.
Do I do that again? I know, something stupid. Yeah, something stupid like that. Like,
that's amazing.
there's a cop on my head. Put your seatbelt on.
There's gonna
Don't
be so
touch
many
your
Love
phone.
and Theft fans like
This is amazing.
requesting that. Maybe
Yeah.
I should sell it in,
Yeah,
on
it's a
your
good
merch
idea.
page or
Yeah,
something.
get with the app and
For sure.
create a, yeah.
I also had this thought too. It's like, it's not a bad idea when your kid first starts driving and they start to go
That's
somewhere and you
great.
do a regular voice, like, "Hey, Rainy, be
Yeah.
careful. There's a cop up
That's a
ahead."
good
or
idea.
Yep.
you're about to exit in like 1.5 miles. Pay attention. Get in the right lane.
Yeah.
Stuff like
that could
that.
be
I
good.
thought about that. Obviously, my kids aren't driving.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm so young. But no, it's actually not a bad idea, right?
No, I
'Cause
think
you
it's
can
a great
record
idea.
it. There's like a.
Yeah.
It's harder to find the settings. When I tried to, he's like, send me the settings of that. I was like, man, that's gonna take me a minute. I actually found it, but it was a deep dive to even find how to send it to him. But I did it before. But it's a new update, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I thought that'd be a cool idea to
Yeah,
do to your
that's a
son
really
and
good
like
idea.
literally
Yeah.
use their names.
Yeah.
Or your daughter and like, hey, you're about to exit.
Listen to me.
Nice. Well, thank you guys for coming
Yeah.
on.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you guys
Sean,
for hanging
we
out,
probably
man.
could do an hour if they started asking you and me questions. We could probably talk for another hour. We'd do that another time.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
that another
Episode
time.
2.
We'll definitely have to come back to this.
Yeah, but I think this was definitely a very comedic
Well, thanks
episode.
for having us on. I laughed a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So
Yeah,
thank
this
you
is
so
going to
much.
be our funniest.
All right,
Funniest
so,
episode for sure.
all right, so Eric, where are you from?
I'm from Nyack, New York.
No way! Oh my gosh! You're in a band, I heard.
Yes, I mean, them
Oh
is this
my
crazy
God.
guy that speaks in an Asian voice all the time.
No
It's wild.
way!
It's wild.
Heard he's got it ways out.
He's got a ways
Oh,
out. You should
gotta
try it
raise
out. You
that.
should try it out.
Okay, cool. So you play bass or?
Yeah, I'm bass player,
Nice.
Slapping the bass.
big banjo and fiddle guy
That's
too.
good.
So
That's so great. And how's your mom doing? She good?
yeah, she's all right. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
pretty dead, but
Yeah.
she's,
Goodness.
I'm
Oh
pretty
my
sure
gosh.
she's feeling it though. You know?
My mom
God
and her have
bless
so much
her.
in
You
common.
can tell these guys don't know each other.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet.
Holy
Wow.
Our moms are hanging out in heaven together.
shit. Yeah.
Well, let's just hope.
Gosh.
My dad was married 6 times. He's probably up there hitting on him.
Yeah, they're at the ball. They're at the Sunday night ball. Jesus is sitting there on his golden throne. He's
Yeah,
like,
they're the American Legion throwing a few back.
Without a
Susie,
doubt.
Cheryl, and
Roy.
and Roy. All right, Susie, Sharon, and Roy, they're gonna do a triple dance. It's an event of the night.
Yeah, that's
Y'all ain't
amazing.
right.
And then the Bucks are gonna kick off, and Tom Brady. Oh no, Tom Brady's gone. And Baker Mayfield's gonna win the game. We're all gonna put it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Go Bucks.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Eric.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Oh, yeah.